Okay, here's a really stupid story about the Pope. And no, I am not your favorite red-pilled Catholic podcast. I remember hearing one time this story that the light in the Pope's window is the last light in the entire Vatican that goes out, signifying the Pope is the one working the hardest and staying up the latest to serve the church and his people. And I cannot think of a more uniquely toxic and American idea. I mean, the one hand, yeah, it's sweet in the sense that it conveys that the Pope works really hard and he has to work long hours. But let me tell you another story about a girl named Cheryl. Sheryl Sandberg was the chief operating officer at Facebook for the longest time. She was one of the first female board members. Before Facebook, she was vice president of global online sales and operations at Google. Before Google, she worked as chief of staff for the United States Secretary of the Treasury. In 2012, Sherry made the Time 100, which is a list of 100 most influential people in the world. My girl Cher Bear ain't messing around. And Cher would leave the office at 5:30 every day. Silicon Valley and these companies do not have a more important mission than the church. We should be putting in a lot of effort. But I guarantee that Cher Bear's job is way more taxing and way more complicated and way more difficult than the job you have as a parish minister. And if Cheryl can be chief operating officer, she was there for a long time. If she can be chief operating officer of one of the largest social media companies in the world and leave work every day at 5:30, I think you can too. And before you say, yeah, but the culture and people expect it of me and there's a lot of pressure. When the interview came out and Cheryl said this, she said there were tons of people in Silicon Valley who boasted of long hours and working overtime and being up at the office really late at night. So how is Cheryl able to be a total boss babe and go home to her husband and children every day at 5:30, and you're up at the parish 90 hours a week complaining that people don't appreciate or respect you enough? I think it's probably due to this economic principle that you need to know about that was coined in 1955 by an economist. The principle is called Parkinson's Law. Parkinson's Law states that work expands to fill the time given it, which is also related to the youth minister corollary, which is if a youth minister waits till the last minute to turn in their budget, it will take them 1 minute to turn in their budget. See, Sherry Blueberry and you have a similar situation. You have lots of pressure from other people to work long hours and prove yourself, but you also are setting your own hours and you're in charge of lots of different projects. And the counterintuitive thing here is that if you set a time to go home every day and stick to it, you actually find that a lot of the waste gets cut out, that you do things more effectively, and you're more likely to say no to the random person who comes in and asks if you have 5 minutes. So be one of those zealous parish ministers out there who turns off their light before the Pope does. Woo!